My screen visible, right?
Yes.
And voice also.
Access the device of your LAN. But if you want to access any device, let us say this is your domain controller and you want to access this domain controller from the remote side. Let us say you want to access this domain controller from your home. So what you will do, you will configure the RAS server. Using this RAS server, you can access the device remotely. So, excuse me. Excuse me, guys. So, RAS allows the remote users to access the LAN over internet. If you want to access your LAN over the internet, you will use this RAS server. We'll see, okay, what is this RAS server in detail. So, a machine running Windows on which RAS remote access service is installed, it is called as RAS server. So, this is the machine, and you have installed RAS remote access service. It is called as RAS server. So RAS allows remote users to connect through wide area network. So RAS, it is allowing the
Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir. Keep it.
Joseph, notes எடுக்கிறியா Joseph?
எடுக்கிறேன் சார்.
மீதி எல்லாருமே?
Sir.
Okay.
remote user. So let us say you are at home and you want to access your LAN or you want to access the servers of your network.
ஏலன்,
சொல்லுங்க சார்.
இது என்ன கான்செப்ட் சொல்லுங்க.
சார் ரிமோட் அக்சஸ் சர்வீஸ் கேட்குறீங்களா சார்?
அதுதான் கேட்குறேன். அதானே இருக்கு.
அதாவது காம்பினேஷன் ஆஃப் ஹார்ட்வேர் இல்லைன்னா சாஃப்ட்வேர் வந்து நம்ம வெளியிலேருந்து அந்த இடத்துலேருந்து இல்லாமல் பர்டிகுலர் இடத்துலேருந்து இல்லாமல் வேற ஒரு இடத்துலேருந்து அக்சஸ் பண்ணுறதுக்கு சார்.
புரியல. ஹலோ. ஏலன் கேக்குதா?
ஹலோ
சொல்லுங்க ஏலன்.
சார் குறிப்பிட்ட இப்போ சிஸ்டம் இருக்கிற இடத்துல டைரெக்டாக நம்ம ஃபிசிக்கலாக இது பண்ணாமல் ரிமோட் மூலமாக அக்சஸ் பண்ணுறதுக்கான உள்ளது சார்.
ஏன் VPN இருக்கு, அது மூலியமா எடுக்கலாம்ல?
எடுக்கலாம் சார், அதுலேயும் இது கனெக்ட் பண்ணலாம்.
அப்புறம் ஏன் இது யூஸ் பண்றாங்க?
விபிஎன்னா நம்ம அந்த நெட்ஒர்க்குள்ளே நம்மளோட நெட்ஒர்க்குள்ளே வந்து அக்சஸ் பண்ணுறது சார். இது வந்து விபிஎன் இல்லாமல் நம்ம யூஸ் பண்ணுறதுக்கு.
என்ன டிஃப்ரென்ஸ் ரெண்டுத்துக்குமே? இங்கே இருந்தா VPN கனெக்ஷன் இருக்கு, டனல் இருக்குது, எல்லாமே இருக்குது.
ஆமாம் சார்.
அப்புறம் சொல்லுங்க. ஜோசப்,
சொல்லுங்க சார். ரிமோட் VPN யூஸ் பண்ணி நம்ம நெட்வொர்க்ல கனெக்ட் ஆகிரும். RAS என்ன பண்ணும், சர்வர் என்ன பண்ணுன்னு தெரியல சார்.
தெரியலையா? சரி, ஓகே. ரேணுகா,
Sir.
என்னம்மா? சரி, ஓகே.
This RAS server is allowing you to access it remotely over internet. WAN link means over internet. So from there, RAS allows those clients to access the resources on your network. So you need to access this server. From this server, this RAS will allow to access this domain controller, access this server, access the printer, access the other PCs as well. So it is like you are sitting in your LAN. And remote users can access the network resources as though they were logged on to a machine directly connected to the network. So you will feel like you are in the network, you are sitting in your LAN. So to allow a user to connect remotely to the RAS server, user should have a dial-in permission. So guys, let us say you are the administrator and you want to access the devices or RAS server remotely. So administrator should have the dial-in permission. You should go to the domain controller. You should go to, let me show you. You will go to administrator, properties. You will go to dial-in. This is the permission, okay, dial-in. Then you should allow it, allow access. Then only you can access your site over the internet using RAS. Otherwise, you can't access. This dial-in permission is not required when you are in LAN. This dial-in.
ஜோசப்
சார்.
பார்த்துருக்கீங்களா அது?
பார்த்துருக்கேன் சார்.
அப்புறம் தெரியலன்றீங்க
சார்?
தெரியலன்னு சொல்றீங்க.
இல்லைங்க சார், அந்த RIS சர்வர் என்ன பண்ணுவது சரி தெரியலன்னு சொன்னேன் சார். இந்த டைலின் ஆப்ஷன் அதை அலோவ் பண்றது இதெல்லாம் பார்த்துருக்கேன் சார். யூசர் அக்கௌண்ட்.
RASனா என்னது? டயலின்னா அதனுடைய ஃபீச்சர்ஸ் தான் இங்க இருக்கு.
ஓகே சார்.
Permission is required when you are at home. From home you are accessing, from internet you are accessing the server. We'll see this as well. We'll enable this option also. So it allows remote users to access the LAN over the internet, a machine running Windows. So we have already covered. So to allow a user to connect remotely to the RAS server, user should have the dial-in permission. And guys, this RAS uses NAT and VPN. Okay. So let us try to understand what is NAT and what is VPN. So guys, we have already covered this point in this NAT and VPN in great detail, and we have done the configuration in CCNA as well. Okay, let us see what is this NAT. We'll see it one more time. So NAT stands for Network Address Translation. And what is the use of this NAT? It is a way to map multiple local private addresses to one public address before transferring the information. So guys, we'll take one example to understand what is this NAT. So imagine there are three organizations. The first organization is ABC, and this ABC organization is having their LAN. They have some computers, and these 4 computers are connected to switch and is forming the ABC LAN, ABC organization LAN. And they are using this network 192.168.1.0 network in their LAN, and the IP addresses of these computers are like 192.168.1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and 1.4. There is one more LAN, and this LAN belongs to PQR organization. And they are also using the same network 192.168.1.0, and their IP addresses are like this 1.1 and 1.2. There is one more organization, XYZ, and they are having some computers in their LAN, and they are also using this same network 192. 168.1.1, 192.168.1. So guys, is there any problem here if they are using the same network in their LANs? Guys, any problem?
No.
Very good. And if you connect these three private networks over internet, will there be any problem?
Network has been problem, huh? Hello? Yeah, one second. I have a problem with my network. Wait for some time.
with each other, and all of them are using the same network. Let us say there is one server, cisco.com is there, and this 192.168.1.1 of ABC organization wants to access cisco.com. He will open the browser and he will type cisco.com, and here the source is 192.168.1.1 and the destination is cisco.com. Okay, the request will go to the router will forward the request to internet. From internet the request will go to cisco.com. So cisco.com will see that the request is coming from 192.168.1.1, but multiple devices are using the same IP address 192.168.1.1. Okay guys, so what the cisco.com will do, will it send the response to all the devices? It will get confused, right?
Yes.
So it will get confused and it won't be able to send the response to any device. This is the problem. Okay, and guys, the IP addresses which we use in your LAN, it is called as private IP address. Okay, this is the private network, you can say. So this is the problem with the private IP addresses. We can't access the internet. If you want to access the internet, you need to purchase the public IP address. So these public IP addresses are unique IP addresses, and it is like your mobile number. No two mobile phones can have the same mobile number. The same way, no two devices can have the same public IP address. Okay, so what these organizations will do, they will purchase the public IP address. Let us say ABC has purchased 1.1.1.1 and they have configured this on this router, and PQR has purchased 2.2.2.2 IP address, and this XYZ also has purchased the one public IP address 3.3.3.3. Now what will happen? If this 192.160.1.1 wants to access cisco.com, again he will open the browser and he will type cisco.com. The request will go to this router. This time the router will not send the request from 192.160.1.1. Instead of that, it will replace this private IP address with this public IP address 1.1.1.1, and the destination will be cisco.com. The request will go to internet. From internet the request will go to cisco.com. Cisco.com will see that the request is coming from 1.1.1, which is a public IP address, which is a unique IP address. Then it will send the response back to
Joseph. What is unique IP address? What is private IP address? What is public IP address?
பப்ளிக் ஐபி அட்ரஸ் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா வெளியில இருந்து ஆக்சஸ் பண்ண முடியும் இன்டர்நெட் வழியா. பிரைவேட் ஐபி அட்ரஸ் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு லோக்கலா யூஸ் பண்ற ஐபி அட்ரஸ்.
அப்புறம் நான் 3 கேட்டேன். 3 ஐபி கேட்டேன்.
வேற என்ன சார்? பப்ளிக், பிரைவேட்,
அப்புறம் இன்னொரு ஐபி.
your ISP or internet, then this router will get the response, and this router knows who has initiated this request. The request is initiated by 192.168.1.1 and send the response back to 192.168.1.1. Is it clear, guys? How you access the internet using this private IP address?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. And here what is happening? This router is changing the private IP address to public IP address, correct?
Yes.
This concept is called what?
NAT.
NAT. It is called as NATing. So translating your private IP address to public IP address is called as NAT. So guys, we perform this NAT on routers, on servers, and we can perform this NATing on the firewalls as well. Okay, you need to remember this concept. If you want to give the internet access to your private computers, you use the NAT here. So what are the advantages, guys, of this NAT? Anyone? What are the advantages of NAT?
We can buy one public IP and we can use with that one public IP we can use multiple users.
முனிரஜ் கால் பண்ணி கேளுங்க நான்
So
வரேன்.
here we have multiple private IP addresses. Okay, let us say you have 10 servers and they are using the IP addresses from 192.168.1.10 to 20, and you want to give the internet access, so you need to purchase
Yeah, tell me.
10 public IP addresses here for each device. And if you have 200
Maria Joseph.
devices in your LAN, to provide the internet access
Can you
to
call
these
to
200
Maria?
devices,
Yeah,
you
can
need
you
to
call
purchase
to
200 public IP addresses, which will be very expensive, guys. So instead of that, what you will do, you will purchase only one
Thank
public IP address, and you will allow.
ஜோசப் ஜோசப்
எஸ் சார் எஸ் சார் சொல்லுங்க
அவன்டா கால் பண்ணாங்க அந்த மீட்டிங்ல ஜாயின் பண்ணலையாமே நீங்க அதுல போய் ஜாயின் பண்ண இண்டக்ஷன் ஒன்று வரும்லப்பா
ஆமா சார்
அதுல ஜாயின் பண்ணப்பா
சரி ஓகே சார் ஜாயின் பண்ணுங்க
Your 200 devices to in your LAN to access the internet. This is the first advantage. Saves money. And guys, when we are using the NAT, did we change any IP address in your LAN computer? No. So there is no need to change the IP addresses of your computer. With the help of this private IP addresses, you can access the internet. Translation will be done at the router. Okay. And the third advantage is you are not exposing your network, which is 192.168.1.0 over the internet. Your request is going using this public IP address, not with the private IP address. So you are not exposing, you are hiding your private network. So these are the three advantages of NAT. Clear, everyone?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So RAS supports NATing. Okay. So here, if you see here, we have multiple devices. In our example, let us say we have some servers. These are the servers, and their IP addresses are 10.0.0.10, 10.0.0.20, 10.0.0.30. These are the IP addresses, and if you want to give the internet access to these servers, you need to do the NATing here. Okay, let us say 1.1.1.1. So these servers will access the internet using this public IP address. Okay, so NAT stands for Network Address Translations. It is a way to map multiple local private addresses to one public IP address before transferring the information. And as we have discussed, it supports our VPN as well. Let us try to understand what is VPN. A VPN or virtual private network is an encrypted connection over the internet from a device to network. So guys, let us say you are at home and you want to access your network from your home. You want to do the task work from home. Okay, nowadays it is very common. You might have heard this term several times. So how you work from home using this VPN? So what you will do? You will take the internet access at your home and you will configure the RAS server and you will form the VPN between your home network and your organization. You will form the VPN here. This is the VPN. This is the internet connection. This is the VPN connection, and you will form the tunnel and you will access all your devices from your home. Okay, so guys, let us try to understand the difference between NAT and VPN. NAT allows your computers in your LAN to access the internet, and VPN allows the outsider to access your LAN. Got the difference? This will be our lab. We will take three computers, two servers. Server 1, this is your domain controller, and the IP address of this server will be 10.0.0.1. This is the private IP address. Subnet mask 255.0.0.0, and the default gateway will be 10.0.0.2. We'll see what is this default gateway. The default gateway means the router IP address. Remember this point. And preferred DNS again same as IP address. Okay, this default gateway will be the router IP address. Then we have this RAS server. So this RAS server will act as a router as well. So you will configure NAT and VPN here, and it will have two NICs. This server is having two NICs, this RAS server. NIC1, which is connected to your LAN, which is connected to your server 1, and NIC2, it will be connected to the internet. And guys, the IP address which you configure on NIC1, which is connected to your private network, is 10.0.0.2. This is the IP address of your server to RAS server, and if you see, the gateway is 10.0.0.2. This is the RAS server IP address in the default gateway. The subnet mask is 255.0.0.0, and preferred DNS will be 10.0.0.1. So this is the NIC1 configuration. NIC2 configuration, you will get the public IP address from ISP. ISP will provide you one IP address, so you will configure it on NIC2, which is 11.0.0.1 in our case. This is the public IP address, and default the subnet mask is 255.0.0.0. And let us say this is your computer at home. You will take the internet access. So at your home, you will have a different IP range. Let us say you will get some other range like 192.168.1.1. Okay, but you need to make sure that you are able to ping this 11.0.0.1. So in our lab, what we will do, we will connect this NIC2 with NIC1 of your client 1, and we'll configure 11.0.0.2 here. This is a lab configuration, but in real network, you will not get the same IP address. IP address from the same network. Okay, then we will configure the server 1, then we'll configure RAS server, then we'll configure your client 1. Okay, so let us do this lab. So first we'll configure the IP addresses on all the devices based on this lab. So let me change the name as well. Let me make it DC. We'll click OK. You configure the IP address first. Then we'll go for RAS configuration. And we'll change the password to a complex password. Password is changed. Now guys, let us verify the IP address.
Joseph number. The number.
So guys, if you see the IP address is 10.0.0.1, subnet mask is 255.0.0.0. What should be the gateway?
All applications are interconnected. 10.2.
Very good. 10.0.0.2. Then we'll click OK. First we'll configure the IP addresses. So IP address is configured on the domain control. We'll go to server 2, and server 2 should have, or RAS server should have, 2 NIC cards. Okay, on one NIC we'll configure 10.0.0.2, on other NIC we'll configure 11.0.0.1. Let us verify whether it is having, and we'll change the server name as well. This will be our RAS server. Alright guys, so let us verify the NICs on this server. So guys, if you purchase any physical server, you will have multiple NICs already. Okay. Servers comes with minimum 2 NIC cards. And on this virtual server,
Alan, what is meant by NIC?
Sir.
NSI. Hello.
Hello.
What is meant by NIC?
server, let us verify. We'll wait for a few seconds. So if you observe here, this server is having only one NIC card. So if it is a physical server, so you need to purchase the NIC card and you need to connect it. You need to open the server, you need to connect the NIC card to the motherboard. So you will get the additional NIC card in virtual machine. You will go to VMs, settings, and you will go to network adapter, and you will add the NIC card from here. Okay, so you will select network adapter, then you will click finish. Okay. So guys, if you see here, we have the additional NIC card. So on this NIC card, which is connected to your LAN, you will configure 10.0.0.2. Let us verify what is the IP address. It is 10.0.0.2. Okay. And
Sandhya. Sandhya.
Hello, sir.
ஃப்ரைடே ஒரு செஷன் போட்டுருங்க காலையில் 10:30 to 11:30, ஈவினிங் வந்து 2 to 3, 2:30 to 3:30 2 செஷன் போட்டுருங்க.
சரி, ஓகேங்க சார்.
ஓகே, தேங்க்ஸ் கைஸ்.